you're sanding like this, your worktop is going to look terrible. And most people don't even realize they're doing it. And the worst thing is, people will put the oil on hoping that the oil is going to fix it, and all it's going to do is make it worse. So I had a client come in and they got this few £100 worth of oak worktop here, and they wanted me to do something with it. Cut it, trim it, put a chamfer on, and finish it off super nice, ready for them to oil. Now, the only problem with him finishing it, not me, means that the prep work has to be 100% perfect before I give it to him. And like I said, the oil is going to raise any imperfections, any screw-ups on my end. So prep is everything. And you can see, look, we had to take it from this finish here to this finished item here. So let me take you through the most common mistakes you're going to come up against when you're working on a project like this. And it doesn't have to be a worktop, could be a table, could be a large panel, could be anything. But let's work through the basics so you don't make these mistakes. Right, number one, most people think, and I know this is going to sound stupid, that the whole point of sanding is to make the surface smooth. And it kind of is and it kind of isn't. What you're actually doing when you go up from, say, an 80 to a 120 is you're polishing the scratches out from the previous surface. So the 80 grit, obviously quite coarse, going to put lots of gouges in the surface. The 120 grit, that's going to cover them over and it's going to polish them out. And then when you move on to the next one, polishes the previous ones out. So every time you're making it a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner, if you will. So arguably one of the biggest misconceptions you have over sanding is starting too coarse. What a lot of people do is they'll jump to 40 or 60 and they'll just start hammering away at the surface and hoping for the best. In reality, unless you're fixing something that's quite badly damaged, you don't really need to go anything less than 80. Anything more than 80 and you're just gouging into that surface with little minute scratches that you're going to have to polish out anyway. You might think you're saving time, but you're just creating work. So take a proper look at the surface and start with what the timber needs and not what feels aggressive. Ultimately, the trick is to let the sandpaper do the work and to just guide it along as we do that. So the next big mistake people are going to do is skipping the grits. So don't get me wrong, I'm happy to skip one, right? But you don't skip two. You can go from 80 to 120 and 120 to 180. So you're skipping 100 and 150. But what you don't want to be doing is going from 80 to 180 because you're just going to be there forever. And what's going to effectively happen is you'll polish some of the surface and then other parts of the surface, you'll just have big gouges taken out of them. Each grit removes the scratches from the previous one. And the real pain in the butt is going to be if you look at the surface and you think, it's all right. And then you go put the oil on or a stain on or something and it just shows you all the damage that you've done to the top. And you can see here in this video with the light raking across the surface where the scratches are, and then with a little bit more work, how we've removed them. Right, so the next one that I see people doing all the time is leaning on that sander or using the edge of the sander to remove a patch of the surface a little bit quicker than the rest. And look, I get it. I've done it before and I do it on occasion, but if we're doing a big flat surface, especially something like a worktop or a table, we want to keep everything smooth and not create any little coves or divots. And if you don't know, this is what I'm talking about, doing it like this, that bit, or pushing down on it really hard. We don't want to be doing that. And the problem that you'll find is the harder that you push on it, the deeper the gouges are going to be and the more of a rough surface it's going to create. And again, like I said, you think that you're saving time, but you're not. There's a great little saying, slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
And when it comes to prep work for timber, I genuinely believe that that's the thing to live by. It's like with anything in the workshop, whether you're using a table saw or a hammer or a track saw, right? You let the saw do the work, you let the tool do the work. Same thing with the sander. We turn it on, we start it, and we just guide it around the board and let the paper and the rotation of the sander do the work. Another big thing that's going to cause you a problem, especially if you're doing like a nice square edge or a chamfer or something like that, right, is rolling the edge. Now, we don't want to be rolling the edge, do we? Because that's going to ruin your finish. So my advice would be this, right? You always keep 2/3 of the sander actually on the board and only 1/3 going off. So if we're going to sand this edge here, notice we've got 2/3 of the sander on this side and 1/3 over here. Same as we bring it all the way around on the back edge and anywhere else that you need to do. And what that does is it puts your center of gravity more onto the timber and there's less opportunity for you to roll it over. Because if you start rolling an edge over, it's going to ruin it. And that's where that even pressure as you're working comes in. And again, let the paper do the work, let the machine do the work for you. One thing I will say is you might have heard of breaking the edge. Okay, what that actually means is it just means taking that sharp edge off. If you're going to paint it or something, different types of timber might want to peel and they'll catch. So we just break the edge, we just take that sharp edge off, and you can just do that by hand or it's just nice and quick with the sander. But that's something very different to rolling the edge. So I mentioned earlier about the light test. What you're going to want to do is you're going to get yourself a bright light, flashlight, something like that, and you're going to put it down at the level of the timber and you're just going to move it along. And what that will do is it will help you show up any imperfections that are in the surface, any of those swirl marks, any of that damage, which then gives you the opportunity to remove it and clean it up and sort it out before you put a stain or an oil on there. Because once the stain and oil's on and you notice that, you're going to have to sand the entire surface back just to restain it or re-oil it. And I can tell you now, it's a proper pain in the butt. And what you might find is it might look fine or perfect like this, but once you get the light down to it, and this goes for any painted surface or oiled surface, once you get the light down to it, it will show you those imperfections up, and then you can rectify that as and when you need to. And those are the super simple sanding mistakes that are going to ruin your day, but with a little bit of work, a little bit of effort, and a little bit of attention to the work that you're doing, you can bypass all of that and give yourself a gorgeous finish, ready for yourself or the client. So remember, before we close out, right, the things you need to keep an eye on are prep is everything. Don't go too coarse too quickly. Don't skip your grits. Let the sander do the work. Don't be pushing that sander into the timber or easing it off on a corner just so you can get rid of a little bit there. Don't roll your edges because you'll regret it. And then when you need to, at the end, when you think you're done, get yourself a light out, run it across, and see how good a finish it is. All that being said, I've got Scoot, because the client wants to come pick this up and I'm eager for him to see it. So thank you very much for watching. If I've missed anything, please let me know below. You have a great day, take it easy. Have an awesome one. Like I said, the timber cuts, no. Like I said, it's like hammering, right? So the next big mistake people are going to do is skipping the grips. So the next big mistake people are going to do is skipping the grits.